Welcome to our lesson on adding and subtracting decimals with Ms. Dean. Our goals for today are going to be to define decimals, line up decimals by place value, and learn and practice how to add and subtract decimals. I'll be modeling these steps for you, and then you'll have time to practice on your own. The first thing we're going to do is define decimals. So decimals are a way of showing part of a whole number. An example would be 23 and 674 thousandths. Below, I have a decimal place value chart. We see that everything to the left of our decimal is a whole number, and everything to the right is less than a whole, or our decimals. I've written in 23 and 674 thousandths. You can see each digit lines up with their place value. We have a 2 in our tens, a 3 in our ones, our decimal point, 6 tenths, 7 hundredths, and 4 thousandths. Next, we're going to show how to write these decimals in expanded notation using written form. So we would have 2 tenths plus 3 ones plus 6 tenths plus 7 hundredths and lastly we would add our 4 thousandths. So this would be the expanded notation of our decimals. We see each digit and its corresponding place value. Our next step is going to be to line up our decimals. So when we're lining up our decimal place value, we can use our place value chart. So the first thing we're going to do is place the numbers in our chart. So when we're adding and subtracting, we can line up our decimals in their place value. So we're going to practice with a couple problems. So the first problem we have is 21 and 472 thousandths plus 13 and 135 thousandths. So what we're going to do is I like to place my decimals first. So I'll put 1, 2 decimals. Then I like to go through and place my whole numbers. In my first number I have 21. In my second number I have 13. Then my decimals, 472 thousandths, and in our second number 135. And we can add our plus sign and our division line. Notice how each place value is lined up as well as our decimals. That's going to be the key here, is making sure that your decimals are lined up. Because when we move down to our second problem here, we see that we don't have the same place values. So we have, first we'll still put our decimals down, and then I'm still going to start with my whole numbers. So I have a 4 and a 1. I want to make sure those are lined up. And then I have 65 hundredths. And in my bottom number, I have 21 thousandths. We're going to line up that 0 with our 6, 2 with our 5, and then 1. Now in an instance like this, where we have a blank, you could leave it, but you could also place a 0. It does not change our place value when we add a 0 after our decimal. Then we can add our subtraction sign and our equation line. Let's try one more. So down here we have, again, lining up our decimals. We have a 0 in our ones and a 1 in our ones for our second number. In our first number, we have 734 thousandths. In our first number, we just have 2 tenths. So then in this instance, we would add 2 zeros in as our placeholders. Next, we'll practice adding decimals. So here is our problem. 13 and 276 thousandths plus 6 and 513 thousandths. I have that in written form here as well. You can see the orange matches up with our first number, the brown is our equation sign, and then the pink matches up with our second number. So the first step in adding decimals is going to be to line up our place values. So I am again going to put 1, 2 decimals, and then I'm going to go in and place my first number. So I have 13 and 276 thousandths. Now when I go to write my second number, I want to make sure my place values line up. Make sure my ones are aligned, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Now we can add our plus sign and our equation line. The beginning steps of lining this up are about making sure that your decimals are in the same place. If your decimals are lined up, then the rest of your place values should be as well. Then we're going to go through and add like we would with any whole digit number, starting in our smallest place value all the way to the right and working our way to the left, or our largest place value. 6 plus 3 would give us 9. 7 plus 1 would give us 8. 2 plus 5 would give us 7. We need to bring down our decimal. 3 plus 6 would give us 9 again. And our 1, with a final total of 19 and 789 thousandths. Now we'll practice this same skill again, but with subtracting decimals. So for our subtraction problem, we have 26 and 837 thousandths minus 14 and 612 thousandths. So same as last time, line up those decimals, write in our first number, 26 and 837 thousandths, and then our second, 14 and 612 thousandths. And then we're just going to subtract. 7 minus 2 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down that decimal point. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. For an answer of 12 and 226 thousandths. For the final part of our lesson, you're going to get some time to practice. So, you're now going to pause the video and complete these 2 problems on your own. When you're finished practicing, come back to the video and we'll go over the answers together. So just like we did before, we're going to start by lining up our place value, our decimals, Decimal. So then for our first number, we have 7 and 257 thousandths plus 1 and 641 thousandths. And then we're just going to go through and add like we would with whole numbers. 7 plus 1 gives us 8. 5 plus 4 gives us 9. 6 plus 2 gives us 8. Bring down that decimal. 7 plus 1 gives us 8. For our subtraction problem, same steps, but we're subtracting. Place your decimals. 9 and 957 thousandths minus 3 and 752 thousandths. 7 minus 2 would give us 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. 9 minus 7 is 2. Bring down that decimal. 9 minus 3 would give us 6. So that's going to wrap up our lesson for today. You guys did a great job, and we're on our way to becoming decimal masters. Looking to next lesson, we will be taking a mini quiz to check for understanding, practicing more adding and subtracting decimals, as well as using money to practice decimal place values. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.